Hey everyone, welcome back to the Roast West Coast podcast. By the end of the week, we'll be halfway through season 1 of this show, which feels crazy. I started recording these interviews in October, which feels like a lifetime ago. Today, I'm sharing my conversation with Inbal Kalin. She was actually one of my first conversations back in October. She's the head roaster and, along with her husband Louis, the owners of Stache Coffee Company in Oceanside, California. Stache feels like an under-the-radar gem of a local roastery, in part because their efforts to open up their own cafe were put on hold by the COVID-19 pandemic. So unless you had previously stumbled upon them at a farmer's market or stopped into one of their loyal restaurant customers, you may not have known they were in town, even though they've been roasting since 2014. I didn't know that they were there, but having tried 3 of their roasted-to-order blends, I'm glad I found them now. Inbal and I talk about how coffee was a major component of her upbringing, in part due to her Yemeni roots where coffee isn't just for breakfast. We chat about the coronavirus, we talk about coffee freshness, and how good coffee just makes every day better. For the record, Stache Coffee Company is veteran-owned, they're a family-run local business, and you can check out all of their different coffee blends at stachecoffeeco.com. And if you're already online buying coffee for yourself or for a gift this year, be sure to subscribe to the Roast West Coast newsletter with your email address at roastwestcoast.com. There you can get show updates, recaps, and a lot more coffee content. Before we get into this show, I wanted to give you some details about a new promo available for listeners of the Roast West Coast podcast. You can actually get your first bag of coffee free from Libra Coffee when you sign up for a subscription using the promo code OneWildLife at libracoffee.com. That's OneWildLife, all one word, all spelled out lowercase, at libracoffee.com. With a subscription, you'll get coffee beans on your schedule, and with every order, you'll help provide clean water for those in need. You can learn more about Libra's charitable clean water efforts on libracoffee.com. And now, it's time to pour myself another cup of coffee, and here's the show. Good morning.
Hi, Ryan.
Hi, Inbal. How are you today?
Yes, good. Good morning.
Good.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for joining me on the Roast West Coast podcast. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you for approaching me. Our pleasure.
So you are the co-owner and co-founder with your husband of Stache
Correct.
Coffee Company, Stache like mustache. And I think
Exactly.
I think the first thing I need to know is where did the name come from and why choose that as your name? It's pretty distinctive.
Yeah, okay. Well, there's many reasons why we got to this name, but mostly we had like a really close friend that started like the business before we even came along. We were both kind of working on the name situation because it was kind of like a debate, which name will go better. But since he had a mustache and my husband back in the day used to walk with a mustache a little bit. So we thought it would be kind of like hippie cool to combine it with the coffee name. So, we started like we really want to open a coffee shop before we even thought about the roaster. And we wanted to call it Stache Coffee Shop. So it was kind of like, we started like that. And then we thought it would be cool to call it Stache just, because we all like really like the mustache type.
It's a really distinctive kind of name, but it's also just kind of lighthearted, I think, which gives people it's kind of just like a fun, welcoming name as well. And so you mentioned you wanted to start a coffee shop before the roaster even came along. So how did that end up happening? Why did you want to start the coffee shop? And then how did you end up in the roaster and in Oceanside?
Okay. Well, I come from a coffee world. I grew up to a father that he's actually Yemen. He doesn't live in Yemen, but he was born in Yemen. And when he was 3, he moved to the Middle East. So, coffee in Yemen is it's like life, So it's like vegetables here. They live off coffee all day long. It's not like a morning thing. It can be like a whole day. So in my house growing up, coffee was like everybody drink coffee. You drink it in the morning, afternoon. You open, you close the day with a coffee. You sit with friends, you socialize. Coffee is not just a drink. It's a lot of also like a social part. When you have friends, then it's not, okay, let's have dinner, let's have coffee. Who wants coffee? So I grew up like that, and coffee was like, I think in my genes, in my blood, and I loved it ever since. So traveling all over the world and trying all type of coffee beans kind of made me closer to, the quality and the differences between coffees, the 100% Arabica versus all those coffees that they send, the cheap ones that nobody really knows. A lot of them don't even know there's a big difference in the taste because they're not coffee people. So that's how I started my love and passion for coffee. It came from home. My husband used to drink Folger coffee when I met him.
Of course.
So we kind of, he was, born and raised here. That was the coffee everybody drank. And so I kind of pushed him, introduced him to the real quality beans. And together he was in the military too. So we traveled a lot. So every city, every state that we traveled to, we always looked for the good quality coffee roasteries in the area. And slowly, he started drinking a quality coffee. So today he cannot go backwards. He literally he can't drink Starbucks. He says it's the worst coffee in the world because he wants the good quality, the freshly roasted, in the small batches. He's very spoiled today. And we got attracted to it, to the whole process of it. We learned about it. We read, we did some tours. We went to South America a little bit. And we got into it. So together we thought to open a coffee shop would be awesome. And then we start planning things from here and there. We start roasting a little bit, small quantities at home and giving it to friends, family. They all loved it. So we decided, okay, let's start with roasting and then opening a coffee together. So so we took over this roastery in 2012. That's when it started. And then we start roasting. We're making blends, all kind of different blends. We're trying all kind of different beans. We're meeting a lot of farmers. We're trying to support the small farmers. We don't want to work with big organizations. Because after all, the small farmers are the ones that are actually working really hard. So we're making sure the money goes to the right hands. We love the farm to cup. It's just the coffee's we can't go below. So we were before opening a coffee shop, and we loved to do it in an industrial area because it's very trendy today. People love it. They want to get away a little bit from the city. They want to be in a more secluded, but still neat type of place. And then, unfortunately, we were literally before opening, and then the COVID-19 started. So we kind of put things on hold a little bit, just because we knew we don't have outside seating. We only have indoor. Yeah, we were literally before opening our coffee shop, a month before, 3 weeks before.
That's a question I was gonna ask about coronavirus and how it impacted you, and it sounds like it shut you down. It stopped your forward progress. So what are you doing now? I mean, are you essentially kind of waiting until we move beyond this? Are you still providing beans locally? People can still buy them online, or what are you doing?
So we always sold online. We have because in the past we used to sell our beans and blends in the farmer market. So we still have the clients that are very loyal and still buying our coffee on a regular basis. From all over Oceanside to LA and San Diego. And even we have in Austin, we have in Hawaii, we have all over still clients that are buying. We're still selling wholesale to some coffee shops that are still open. Some of the restaurants we used to work with closed down their businesses, unfortunately, because they were also indoor mostly, and they couldn't just handle the COVID-19 and all the restrictions. So we're hoping that eventually they will reopen, but we don't know. And so, but we still operate, we still sell our beans and blends, and but of course, it's not as it used to be before. We have some clients that lost their businesses, and some still ordering, but not in the same, quantity that they did before.
Sure.
Just because they can only have 20% capacity inside the restaurant, so they can't really so much, but we're still working. Happy that we didn't lose all our clients, and we're trying to promote and advertise as much as we can. But we're hoping for better days when all this thing will end and we can officially open our place too and introduce our blends to everybody.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned restaurants having a smaller capacity, and I don't think that's something everyone thinks about, is how that ripples out and affects like the people that work with the restaurants. It's not just, I mean, it's terrible that restaurants have been losing business, but it's also their food vendors, their coffee vendors, delivery drivers, and all these other people that are impacted by those shutdowns.
Yeah.
You are making small batches of coffee beans, and on your website you talk about how they're sustainable and transparent. Why is that important? You already mentioned farm to cup, but why do you think it's important for coffee roasters to be sustainable and to be transparent about where they're getting their beans from?
Because I think, first of all, like today, I think when you go to a grocery store and you buy something, you check the ingredients. Right? You want to see what you're buying. Today, there's more knowledge about, okay, what do I put in my mouth before I actually just take everything? We want to see, of course, like all the ingredients, or we want to see how fresh it is. We want to see where it comes from. So I think today people have more knowledge about the coffee beans too, like especially people that really love coffee. And people looking for, just like you go to a bakery, you don't want to eat those, breads that have so much preservative. You want to buy the fresh bread, right? That it's not going to harm your body. The same with beans. So I think the fact that we're actually roasting in small batches is really good because we can monitor the beans. So if there is for instance, bad beans that, burn or are not good for you to process in your body or to drink because it's going to have a lot of acid, it's going to be very acidic. So we're able to take them out. And I do it on a daily basis. So I monitor my beans because it's only 5 pounds, but those big companies and coffee roasters, when they roast 20 pounds, it's really hard to do, like Starbucks and all the big chain companies. So you get what you get for your drink. You don't really know all of what you're drinking, like how good is the bean, because the flavor stays in the bean to a certain point. If the roaster roasted after this certain point, then you take all the sweetness and all the good taste of the bean out of it. So it's very easy for us in a 5 pound, roaster to monitor that versus the big roaster of 20 pounds and up. And that's why I think, when people buy from us, it smells so fresh. I tried other beans from other big chains. When I grind it, you can see the difference. You can smell the difference. Our beans are so fresh. We also roast per order. I don't just roast, 10 pounds today from each. I roast per order. We say, today we have 20 orders, and then we have wholesale order, and that's what we roast every day. So everybody gets it fresh, literally straight from, the farm. You roast it, you get it, you drink it. It doesn't harm your body. It's good. It's tasty. It has a good flavor, good smell. And every other thing that is quality and don't have preservatives and it's fresh. Coffee is also something that people start more and more, tasting the difference between a bad and a good coffee.
I know that when I started drinking coffee, I was an adult when I started drinking coffee. I was already in my 30s. And one of the things that I really appreciate now is kind of all those different little quality differences and all those different flavors you can pull out of a bean. But I'm also kind of angry about it because now I know that it's there and I can't go back the way your husband can't go back.
Yeah.
And that's
exactly.
tough.
That's a good thing. That's not a bad thing.
No, I know, but it's sometimes ignorance is bliss. But I'm grateful that I did because now I get to really enjoy my cup of coffee instead of just, opening my mouth and swallowing just because it's a habit.
Yeah.
We're entering the holiday season. We're talking in October, but this is actually going to be coming out in several weeks closer to Thanksgiving and then the holidays after that. Do you guys have any holiday plans coming up? How can people get Stache Coffee for themselves or as a gift?
Yeah, so we're gonna in the next few weeks probably we do it usually. We used to, because now the COVID-19 we don't have any more festivals and all kind of things that we're attending and selling our coffee with gift packages. But now we're gonna have it on the website, small a gift packages for family, friends. That some of them include our T-shirts or a tumbler or just a hat. And of course, our blends. So we do it every year. We're probably going to do it in the next few weeks. We're going to launch it in the website as well. And that's what we do. We work with some companies that order for their employees. So we do have, orders of 100 and above that companies ordering from us, which is nice. Kind of to support our business too. And it's nice. I think today to order and buy gifts from small businesses, it's also helping the businesses, of course. And I always like those small markets, all the handcrafted things, I think it's way more neat to just go to a chain store and get something that someone else got. But
sure.
So we're trying to be very neat also with our coffee and blends and, and sell those packages for the holidays. And we do it every year. And we're hoping this year will be just as good because it's online. So people don't have to, interact. Or
I would think if you were any sort of business like a salon or a beard wax company, or there's so many men's grooming companies right now, like Manscaping, if you're listening to this, I think this is what you need to get your employees this year. And before I let you go, I got two last questions. One,
Sure.
What is your favorite style of coffee to drink? And two,
Okay.
Anything else that you want us to know about Stache Coffee Company?
Okay, my favorite coffee. Okay, so it changes because, like I mentioned, or maybe I didn't mention, but coffee is very seasonal. You have different beans every season. So I love trying every bean from every country. Like I love it. I just love trying new things. I'm more like a naughty chocolate person type of bean, but I like the fruity as well. So the winey type fruity bean. But my favorite is from Nicaragua, the red bourbon. It's one of my favorite coffee beans because they're not so sweet and they're not so acidic and they have some nutty chocolatey caramel taste to them. So I love making my cappuccinos with that. But I do have a different blend that I drink for my brewed coffee, for my pour over, which is like our special blend. We combine two beans that are usually from one part of Nicaragua and Mexico. So yeah, that's for my pour over coffee. And I also like Ethiopian. So I have like a different coffee for every hour of the day. But because I'm a coffee addict. So, and I'm a coffee snob too. Like I can't drink any kind of coffee. Like I have to drink my specific coffee. So, and what was the second question? Sorry.
No, that's okay. Anything else that you want people to know about Stache Coffee, and I guess that's really it. Just anything you want us to know about Stache Coffee Company for anyone who listens to this.
So we're a small company. We're business owned and family owned, and even my kids comes with me and roast sometimes. We love it. We have so much passion for the beans. We love every batch that we put so much love in every batch that we roast. We don't just roast to sell. We roast to make people enjoy and say thank you every morning that they have this quality coffee. We are veteran owned as well. My husband was, he served a few years in the military, and he loved the country, he loved the States, and we're just hoping that people would eventually understand. And the West Coast, I think, is more than any side of the United States that actually have a lot of knowledge about coffee. So we're happy about that. But we hope that people more and more understand that the smallest you roast, the better the coffee would be. Your cup of coffee in the morning.
Well, sounds good.
Happy that we have coffee. Happy for the coffee.
I think everyone's happy about coffee in the morning. I struggle to remember a time when it wasn't part of my morning. It wasn't even that long ago, but it's hard to imagine now.
Yeah, it's the little things that makes you happy during the day. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I'm waking up, I'm going to another day. But if I have a nice cup of coffee next to me, start my day, that would make it better already. That's how I see it.
Well, I agree with you there. Well, I appreciate you joining me on the show. And
of course.
And good luck this season. And I'm looking forward to learning more and trying more Stache Coffee in the future.
Thank you, and everyone stay healthy, stay safe, and we're hoping for better days to come this year. Thank you.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to this episode of the Roast West Coast podcast. For me, chatting with Inbal really showcased how much coffee can be part of the fabric of our lives. From growing up in a coffee-loving family to exploring coffee around the globe with her husband, to creating a career out of it and now introducing the roasting process to her own kids, coffee has been the through line in Inbal's life. Sharing that passion through the coffee she roasts really seems to inspire her work every day. If you're craving some coffee right now, head to stachecoffeeco.com to learn more about the coffees coming out of the company. If you're craving some coffee right now, head over to stachecoffeeco.com. You'll learn more about the coffees coming out of Stache Coffee Company, and you can pick up a few bags to keep you warm through the holiday season. If you have a mustachioed gentleman in your life, consider hooking them up with some Stache gear. That's it for today's show. On Friday, Chris O'Brien of Coffee Psycho will be back to talk to us through the ins and outs of coffee processing. And next week, I'll share my conversation with Brianna Briggs. She's the director of coffee and the head roaster at Leap Coffee in Carlsbad, California. We have a great conversation about the representation of women in coffee and how she ended up in the coffee business to begin with. If you want to share this show with a coffee-loving friend, just let them know they can search for Roast West Coast on any major podcasting platform, including Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, YouTube, and basically everywhere else. Thank you for listening to the Roast West Coast podcast. Don't forget to sign up for the newsletter at roastwestcoast.com. I'm starting the roast giveaways for subscribers this week, and you'll be able to find all of the promos there for discounts on or even free coffee from some of the great North County San Diego coffee roasters featured in the show. This episode of the Roast West Coast podcast has been produced and recorded by me, Ryan Wolt. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to the bonus content, try to stay sane, and as always, be sure to drink good coffee.